War for the first time in the history of man. Nations combined to fight against nations using the crude weapons of those days. The Second World War involved every continent on the globe, and men turned to science for new devices of warfare, which reached an unparalleled peak in their capacity for destruction. And now, fought with the terrible weapons of super science, menacing all mankind and every creature on Earth, comes the War of the Worlds.
Hey guys, Panzer King here, deep in the Lion's Lair, bringing to you a special edition. And I trust that you saw the intro, and this is all about War of the Worlds. Recently on Historical Board Gaming, I briefly looked at a few new things they were selling, and my jaw dropped. I was like, wow, I want those. And you probably recently saw it in an unboxing video. Well, I was so excited that night, I literally painted every one of those pieces within 24 hours. Yeah, just because I think it's just kind of a cool genre, and I was just so impressed with it. So without further ado, I present to you the War of the Worlds, the Martian war machine. Very simple, very easy to paint. I picked up kind of a bronze painted color that I get from the Tamima paints there from the local hobby shops, and just coated it a few times underneath and back. And then of course I just did some painting, and I believed I used Park Green for the actual paint color, and it almost is perfectly identical to the actual movies themselves. And I believe this is it right here. Yeah, like a lovely, nice, amazing green. But yeah, no, that turned out really good. And then I just used for the laser head, or the main weapon there, I used just the X7 red, also from Tamiya as well. So yeah, great paints, like I say, very well. And I just took my time. I obviously put the magnet there for the flight stands, painted it. And then of course I put them on 3 different levels, and you can see here, because if anybody has seen that 1953 movie, you usually always have 3 Martian ships in the movie, and I'll show you a few videos on that. But yeah, anyways, but yeah, no, I think they actually turned out really, really good. And you're probably asking, well, this isn't Global War 36 related, you know, what is this? And to tell you the truth, you're right, what is this? You know, I'm not sure if Doug from Historical Board Gaming is planning some sort of alien War of the Worlds type of expansion pack for Global War. That would be pretty awesome, you know. I know a few people, especially like General Hand Grenade and other stuff, like they don't necessarily like the zombie expansions and stuff that have come out. And honestly, I agree with them. I don't really like them either. I think they're just, you know, not very good. But these are just, I don't know, I think these are just part of Hollywood mixing up with another love of mine, which is historical board gaming, which just brings a bit of nostalgia to it as well, because that movie was, you know, over, I guess, almost 70 years old now, right? So, but yeah, no, I just really loved these sculpts, and I just, for some reason, I had a drawing to paint them and make them as close as I can to the actual movie itself. So ultimately, that's exactly what happened. And yeah, so basically I didn't stop there. I painted more than one. As you can see here, I think there was 20 sculpts I got, and this is just a few. This is not all of them here, but kind of the invasion has happened, so to speak. So yeah, I just want to share this with you guys and see what you guys think about it. I think they turned out beautiful, and they looked really cool, and very historically accurate here. So let me pause for a second, and I'll show you something else. And we're back, guys. I have something to show you as well. These chips also came with them. It'd be nice someday if they ever have any alien sculpts. But the alien infantry, as you probably saw in the unboxing, is kind of cool too. But it'd be kind of cool, like I say, to have scalps with them. I was actually also thinking of doing something different, drilling holes in these guys and maybe putting some bead look, and maybe just to add to kind of a cool futuristic 1950s look, and maybe spacing them up here and putting them upside down, and I don't know, like on the actual flight stand. That would be kind of cool, kind of have that alien look to it. But yeah, no, I ordered several of these chips as well to go with it as well. So, but yeah, like I say, maybe there'll be a future expansion or game. Right now, all I know is when I saw these online, I had to buy them. So, but for those who don't know the movie, let me show you. This right here is Pacific Technology Institute, and basically this is the Martian war machine, and you can see the actual aliens themselves. Compared to a human, interesting because a lot of their culture is devised with threes. You can see the 3 eyeballs that they have there represent 3 different colors, and in this picture I believe they actually have 3 fingers on each hand, and even 3 toes as well, and you can see here they have the remote camera that comes out of the ship. And you can also take a look there too. It also has 3 eyes as well, and you can take a look at the ship. In the front there you have the sensor array, and then of course you have the disintegrate array on the port and starboard sides. As well, and then of course you got the main heat ray neck that comes up there as well. So yeah, just cool little info on this, and just some interesting literature. Shows you some heights, dimensions, you know, size as well. But yeah, just a really cool looking ship overall. And then I'll share with you a few more papers, just giving you a different view, more of a plan view down on it, just to give you some different options to seeing it. And then of course we have a little bit more visuals here. Of course the eye, which is kind of like a very 50s style, right, when they picked that. And of course you can see the different lenses, the green, blue, and red lenses on their eye. The death ray here, of course, and the camera as well. And then of course and I believe it's even actually on the sculpt. Maybe, yeah, it is too. It's kind of hard to see the lights, but I think they're slightly there, but regardless, it doesn't matter. When H.G. Wells did the original one, there was kind of a tripod look, and that's what these were going to be, the tripod projectors right here, but that obviously never went, and they kind of went with this manta ray look of a ship when they were designing it. So, and then of course this is the lower hatch where the alien pops out at the end of the movie and of course dies. But yeah, interesting, right? And then there's even actually an upper hatch just past the main heat ray neck as well. So very cool. And of course we got some other Pacific Institute tech stuff. Like obviously this is just all fan art, just, you know, some alien schematics and whatnot of the ship and the breakdown and whatnot. So yeah, anyways, figured I'd just share some of that stuff with you too, kind of top secret, as we fight the Martian invasion. And speaking of Martian invasion, let's take these up to the war room, shall we?
No one would have believed in the middle of the 20th century that human affairs were being watched keenly and closely by intelligences greater than man's. Yet, across the gulf of space on the planet Mars, intellects vast and cool and unsympathetic regarded our Earth with envious eyes, slowly and surely drawing their plans against us. Mars is more than 140 million miles from the Sun, and for centuries it has been in the last stages of exhaustion. At night, temperatures drop far below zero, even at its equator. The inhabitants of this dying planet looked across space with instruments and intelligences of which we have scarcely dreamed, searching for another world to which they could migrate. They could not go to Pluto, outermost of all planets, and so cold that its atmosphere lies frozen on its surface. They couldn't go to Neptune or Uranus, twin worlds in eternal night and perpetual cold, both surrounded by an unbreathable atmosphere of methane gas and ammonia vapor. The Martians considered Saturn an attractive world with its many moons and beautiful rings of cosmic dust, but its temperature is close to 270 degrees below zero, and ice lies 15,000 miles deep on its surface. Their nearest world was giant Jupiter, where there are titanic cliffs of lava and ice with hydrogen flaming at the tops, where the atmospheric pressure is terrible, thousands of pounds to the square inch. They couldn't go there, nor could they go to Mercury, the nearest planet to the sun. It has no air, and the temperature at its equator is that of molten lead. Of all the worlds that the intelligences on Mars could see and study, only our own warm Earth was green with vegetation, bright with water, and possessed a cloudy atmosphere eloquent of fertility. It did not occur to mankind that a swift fate might be hanging over us, or that from the blackness of outer space we were being scrutinized and studied, until the time of our nearest approach to the orbit of Mars during a pleasant summer season.
Fireball or something? Boy, that's big. Maybe it's a comet.
And welcome back to the War Room, everybody. Up here in the Lion's Den, we're just going to give you a brief rundown of how the Martian invasion is going and what's the status currently right now. We are now in day 6 of the Martian War, and the Martian invasion forces have been literally tearing apart most of the major capitals in the world. So let's just go over here. As I've said before, we have our literature here as we study this invasion, but we can look here at Cairo. We have a Martian war machine here just outside there destroying, and we have many in Europe currently, some outside Toronto, some besieging Paris, London as well. We also have Berlin. One moving on from the destruction of Warsaw, now it's laid in siege in Berlin. 2 outside of Moscow. Over here in South America, we got 1 attacking Buenos Aires, 1 just outside of Bolivia, and we have 3 on the eastern seaboard here, 1 in Texas and 1 New York and Ottawa. War's not going good. There's some 20 war machines throughout the world right now. 1 has just destroyed Calcutta and is moving on to other parts of India. Many people have fled to the safety of the Himalayas. Singapore, we've heard nothing from Singapore. We can only assume the worst. Down here we have the Australians, Melbourne and Sydney. Nothing to report out of there. Japan, Tokyo, and Hiroshima have been sacked. We just heard that the Americans have tried a nuclear A-bomb to no effect, and apparently has done nothing to defeat the blister that surrounds the Martian war machine. So we can see also one up here in Vancouver, Canada. Yes, war is not going good.
The Martians had calculated their descent upon our Earth with amazing perfection and subtlety. As more of their cylinders came from the mysterious depths of space, their war machines, awesome in their power and complexity, created a wave of fear which swept into all corners of the world. In every country, government officials met in desperate conclave, seeking ways to coordinate their defenses with those of other nations. The government of India, driven from New Delhi, met in a railroad closure, while massive Hindu populations streamed for the imagined safety of the faraway Himalayas. The redoubtable Finnish and Turkish armies, Chinese battalions and Bolivians worked and fought furiously. Every effort against the tremendous power of their otherworld antagonists ended in the same frantic rout. The Martians Martians burnt fields and forests and great cities fell before them. Huge populations were driven from their homes. The stream of flight rose swiftly to a torrent. It became a giant stampede without order and without goal. It was the beginning of the rout of civilization, of the massacre of humanity. A great silence fell over half of Europe as all communication was disrupted. When the last wire photo out of Paris reached the French cabinet exiled in Strasbourg, they hit upon the idea of using superspeed jets as couriers. Stripped of armament and loaded with extra fuel, these planes maintained connection with the Scandinavian countries, North Africa, the United States, and especially with England. It was plain the Martians appreciated the strategic significance of the British Isles. The people of Britain met the invaders magnificently, but it was unavailing. As the Martians swept northward toward London, the British cabinet stayed in session, coordinating every item of information that could be gathered, passing it on to the United Nations in New York. From there, the news was forwarded to Washington, because here was the only remaining unassailed strategic point.
48 north, 2 west.
31 east, anchored on Cairo.
Checking. Dover blanked out.
Brazil checking.
And this is probably what could happen in some sort of future historical board game expansion, or some sort of alien invasion game. That would be fun to play, and I think we'd all agree it definitely would be interesting. And yes, it's not World War I or World War II, but you know, let's face it, I mean, the 50s and 60s were full of sci-fi movies of alien invaders. And if you're going to play this Global War series, you know what? This would be a fun little addition, something that you know, would just add a wrench to see, you know, what could be and what could have been, or you know, if you're a sci-fi fan. And I think a lot of us are. A lot of people in this community love Star Wars, Star Trek, you know, and probably even the odd sci-fi movies and series like Stargate and all that stuff. So, but yeah, anyways, I just wanted to share this video with you, just have some fun, go over what possibly maybe this future game or expansion might look like. And this might be up your alley or it might not be, and I totally understand that, right? This is just something that just brings me back to my childhood when I was a young kid watching this movie. I thought, you know what, this is kind of cool, even though it was probably hokey for its time and probably still is, but yeah, just an interesting perspective. And of course, that theme has been relayed on with movies like Independence Day, and even, you know, end of the world movies like Armageddon and Deep Impact. So yeah, that is that's pretty much it, except for one thing. I'm going to be doing something here that I don't normally do, because I usually like round numbers, but I just looked at my subscribers today, and I am lucky enough to say I am at 175 subscribers. And what that means is that I was going to do a giveaway for the 200th subscriber, but because I'm doing this special edition, I want to give away 3 of my painted Martian war machines. And you can see them right here, and I'm even going to give away 3 different elevated flight stands with them as well. So definitely, if this is something that you might want as a gift or as a prize, let me know. All you have to do is just add to the comments, if you do make a comment, just mention your favorite sci-fi film. That's all you have to do. Or series or whatever, Star Trek, Star Wars, you know, an old classic from the 50s. Just mention a movie, and you'll be entered in the draw. And we'll probably do that, I'm going to say, in about 2 or 3 days, we'll probably do the draw. I might even wait a week. I'm not quite sure. We'll see what the cutoff time might be, but definitely no later than a week, just to see, you know, just make sure everybody kind of gets a chance to look at the video and comment. But I think we'll know after a few days if we have enough people that have shown some interest. But yeah, hopefully you guys liked this video, and it was just a fun one for me. I've been extremely busy, and actually I'm going to show you something right here. My war room / man cave / garage is full of lots of stuff right now, and you can see some of it's baby stuff and a few other things. because I'm clearing out some rooms upstairs for some guests coming, and I also want to be able to put this all away and organize it properly. So I just did a mad rush and put a whole bunch of stuff down here, and there's still more to come. But you know me, I'm very organized, and eventually I'll get through all of this stuff in probably a few weeks, and this room will be back up to where it should be. Anyways, but this is Panzer King, the Lion's Den, bringing you the War of the Worlds Special Edition. And that is it, folks. And hopefully we win this war. Take care, everybody. Have a great one. Stay classy, everyone.
The Martians had no resistance to the bacteria in our atmosphere to which we have long since become immune. Once they had breathed our air, germs which no longer affect us began to kill them. The end came swiftly. All over the world their machines began to stop and fall. After all that men could do had failed, the Martians were destroyed and humanity was saved by the littlest things which God in his wisdom had put upon this earth.